Call to order the December 4th, 2023 meeting of the Montgomery County Election Board to order. Note the presence of all three members, and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So I do have some opening comments. This is my final meeting as a member of the Montgomery County Election Board, and I've served as the chair of this board for 6 of the past 7 years, and it's been an honor and a privilege. We've implemented a new voting system during this time, and we've had to adjust and adapt to Act 77, which changed dramatically how many of our citizens vote. I want to thank our Office of Voter Services, who work diligently year-round for our primary and general elections each year. I want to thank our Chief Clerk, Lisa Altesiak, our Solicitor's Office, Maureen is here today, but John Marlette for making sure that we follow the law. But again, for our Office of Voter Services, represented by Frank Dean here today, there's a ton of planning and logistics that goes into every election day and making sure people are registered and know where their polling places are. It's really a year-round job. It's not just about election day. I also want to thank all of our election day and tabulation workers who give their time and talent to make sure everyone who is eligible, who can vote, does, and that all eligible votes are counted. And finally, I want to encourage and urge the General Assembly to update the election code. The passage of Act 77 has changed the way many people vote, but there are still arcane and unnecessary provisions in the election code which confuse and disenfranchise voters, and which now the courts are determining when that's really the General Assembly's responsibility and our governor to do that. And if I have one wish for next year, we have a presidential election coming up, and allowing counties to pre-canvass will dramatically speed up the time it will take counties to count the votes and provide uncertified results. So I certainly hope that our General Assembly and our governor can work that out before the election next year. So do we have any other opening comments? Yeah. Yeah, all right. With that, we will move on to general public comment, which is limited to 3 minutes.
First up is Britta Henry.
You can just state your name and municipality.
Sure. Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Britton Henry with Goldstein Law Partners. I'm actually not a resident here, but I'm an attorney who's representing a collective of petitioners who filed a petition this morning contesting the certification of the Talminson Township Supervisor race. And I would just ask the council, in light of that filing and what we believe is a good faith basis, to postpone that pending the determination of judicial review to not certify that particular race. Thank you.
Mr. Marlette, will you just address that now, please? So can you address the election code? And
sure. As it pertains to this particular situation, the board was served this morning with an election contest petition. Under the election code, the standard for certification in section 3154 is that after the necessary 5-day waiting period, the board is to certify the election results unless there is a recount or recanvass petition that has been filed. We do not at this time have a recount or a recanvass petition. A petition of an election contest is a petition of a different type and not one that should delay the board moving forward to vote on certification this morning or this afternoon. Sorry.
Thank you.
Up next is Jim Thomas.
Jim Thomas from Lower Gwinnett. Thank you very much, Commissioners. I want to voice an objection about possibly piggybacking on what the gentleman prior to me said. The federal judge's ruling in the Western District may not apply to the Eastern District townships, and that would be an additional reason why that Talminson election maybe should be re-adjudicated. I also want to object to the election of Daniel Ronca, who was elected judge. I'm citing lack of candor, provided documentation that he has previously told a child to lie to his parent, which was contributory in not only parental alienation, but also harm to numerous children in Montgomery County. And he should be evaluated by the ethics board. Also, I understand the election committee should be aware that there may be some intelligence involvement in our elections. Anthony Blinken, our Secretary of State, was involved in telling 50 former intelligence officers to lie about the Hunter Biden laptop and say it was likely Russian disinformation when it was actually true prior to the 2020 election. And the 2020 election was questioned or should be questioned because of that. The intelligence involvement may be more extensive, including involvement in Dominion, Hart Intercivics, and ES&S voting systems. And we ask that we make a concerted effort to request that the intelligence communities declassify and disclose their involvement in the election systems. Thank you.
Up next is Barb for now, Furman, sorry.
Hello, Barbara Furman, New Hanover Township. We are neighbors in this county, all working together to increase the understanding of every piece of the election process. I am an elected judge of elections in New Hanover 1. I have shared my concerns several times at commissioners' meetings. I was elected to oversee all of the votes tallied by registered voters at my precinct. I cannot do that. Ballots need to be returned to the precinct to count. In the November 2023 election, just under 800 votes were cast at the precinct in person. There were 3 provisionals. There were about 400 mail-in ballots that were sent out, and about a third were cast prior to the poll book printing. 4 were surrendered on election day to be cast in person, and over 250 that we as poll workers elected by our local constituency have no idea whether they were cast or any chain of custody. That is possibly over 25% of the votes counted in this election. Lack of the denominator is just unacceptable. And when does the county have that number of total votes cast in a particular precinct? That is of great concern, and a lengthy process of counting the votes. The voters truly don't understand. I realize that voter services also works very hard to make sure that votes are counted. Process is important, and process is not clear. Transparency down to the local precinct is a must. The people deserve it. So I do ask the question, when on election night, do you have that number of votes that are tallied at a particular precinct? So I would like an answer to that question.
This isn't a question and answer, but thank you for
Yes.
being a judge of elections.
Next on Zoom, Asmar. Chris, can you unmute?
Hello.
Hello, go ahead.
I have no comment.
Oh, your hand is raised. Okay.
Oh,
Yep.
sorry.
Okay. That is all for public comment.
I will make a motion to approve the October 17th, 2023, and the November 3rd, 2023 minutes of the Montgomery County Election Board. Is there a second? Second by Judge Clifford. Any board comment? Hearing none, we'll move on to a vote. Are there any negative votes? Minutes are approved. Our next agenda item is certification of the 2023 general election. And Mr. Marlett, I believe, is presenting.
Good afternoon again. After Election Day, the canvass and tabulation boards continued to process ballots that were able to be included in the election tally and work to tabulate and reconcile the overall results of the election. On November 14th, that task had been completed and the board was scheduled to certify the results on November 22nd. On November 21st, the United States District Court for the Western District of Pennsylvania issued an order finding that it was a violation of federal law to not count mail-in ballots with missing or incorrect dates on the outer return envelope. The county had segregated timely received ballots that met this criteria and would otherwise be able to be counted in the election. In light of the court's order, the Board of Elections was obligated to now include these ballots in the canvass. We issued public notice that we would reopen tabulation to count these ballots via a press release issued on November 22nd. We publicly advertised the reopening of the canvass in the newspaper on the dates of November 24th, 25th, and 26th. The canvass and tabulation board reconvened on November 27th, and canvass and tabulation was completed and again closed on the 28th. At the close of tabulation, the board is required to wait 5 days for any parties to properly file recount petitions. One recount petition was filed in Lower Moreland Township for the Ward 5 Commissioner race. That recount was conducted on Friday, December 1st, and there was no change in the outcome of that race. As a part of the inclusion of mail-in ballots, the supervisor's race in Towamencin Township finished in a tie between Richard Marino and Kofi Osei. The candidates drew lots to decide the winner as required by the election code, and the result was in Mr. Osei's favor. On Friday the 1st, the Republican National Committee filed a motion to intervene on behalf of Mr. Marino in the district court case in the Western District. As a part of that motion, they requested a stay of certification of the Towamencin race from the district court. As of the time of this meeting, a stay has not been ordered. Mr. Marino has filed an election contest in the Court of Common Pleas and has also requested a stay there. Again, as of the time of this meeting, a stay has not been ordered. Once the canvass and tabulation has concluded and the required 5-day quiet period has passed, boards may only delay certification when a party files a recount petition or if there is a court order. At this time, we have no recount petitions and no court orders to delay certification of any contest. And I'm asking the board to vote to certify the results of the 2023 general election.
Make a motion to certify the results of the November 7th, 2023 school general election. Is there a second? Second by Judge Clifford. Any board comment?
Yes, Chairman Lawrence, this is Commissioner Gale. I have a comment.
Okay,
Thank you. I choose to remain consistent and vote not to certify the election results. I've done this in the primary and general of 2020, the primary of 2021, the general of 2022. I choose to do the same for the general of 2023 due to the fact that the election law of Pennsylvania is conducted under Act 77, has many flaws, many of which I've been a vocal critic of over the years since it was passed in the fall of 2019. And I vote no to certification as a protest vote to urge the Pennsylvania State Legislature to properly pass an election law. There's many flaws with this, including the passage, the way it was passed in 2019, and it has to be fixed. So it's my hope that this stresses that importance. So I will be a no vote.
You're going to call the roll call.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Ms. Washington, we'll have a roll call vote, please.
Chair Lawrence,
Aye.
Vice Chair Clifford,
Aye.
Commissioner Gale,
Opposed.
Okay, motion passes 2-1. Thank you, Mr. Merlin. And I will make a motion to adjourn the December 4th, 2023 meeting of the Montgomery County Board of Elections. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Judge Clifford. Board comment. Thank you for your service on this board this year. This will be your last meeting.
My last meeting.
This will be your last meeting as well. It'll be Commissioner Gale's last meeting as well, so it'll be a whole new board, but I know you stepped in during this in addition to your judicial duties. So thank you for your service on this board as well. Any other board comment?
Yes, Chairman Lawrence, I would just like to also thank the staff in the Montgomery County Voter Services Department. As you mentioned earlier, they work all the days leading up to Election Day. In a county of our size with such a large population, it requires a lot of time and effort, and I'd like to thank them for their service and making it possible to conduct our elections.
Yeah, we agreed on two things at this meeting here. This is it's truly the holiday season. So with that, we'll move on to a vote. Are there any negative votes? Meeting is adjourned.